we are having a special guest join us live right here, right now. He is one half of the New South Tag Team Champions, along with Dump Sanders, the Dumpster Divers. He just competed in his last HOSS tournament ever. He is CMD, Cabana Man Dan. Dan, thanks for joining us, man. How you doing?
I'm good. Just getting my island ready for you. Can you hear me okay? Is my
Yes.
satellite phone communicating properly?
Yes, you look good and you sound good, Dan. It's great to see you, man.
Good to see you, Dan. Appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, thank you. You said big name, and I was like, I don't see anybody else here. What are you talking? Oh, my name is long, but it's not big. So that's the difference.
No, you've been around a long time, Dan. Everyone out there is saying all these nice things about you. You've been putting up articles the last few weeks. You getting that praise. What's it feel like just right off the bat, seeing your peers and people you've had a hand in training and just people you've known in wrestling kind of giving you your flowers lately?
It sounds like I owe them a lot of money. And no, it really feels good. I mean, because I know you've had Big Dave on most recently. That's a guy that started as security and ushering people to their seats, all the ticket holders from going to the training. And it takes a village. It's not just me. It's guys like Donnie Primetime, Kenzie Page, Dump Sanders, Brandon Williams, and just I mean, New South's been a community to get guys like Big Dave ready, Tyler Franks, Hunter Drake, and the next classes, up to speed as much as we can.
What was it like, competing in your last HOSS tournament? Like, why was this your last HOSS tournament? And like, I don't know if I missed an announcement, but like, do you have like a timeline on like your career? Or was it this more of like a HOSS thing? Kind of what's the mindset of this being your last HOSS tournament? Because you've been so involved and you've won the tournament in the past.
Well, we kind of had like a running joke as after you compete in two HOSS tournaments, you're like done for a while. And I competed in my second HOSS tournament and won it in 2019. And then as years went by, I was like, well, if I get put in the HOSS again, I want it to be my last one, just because the level of talent is insane. And I sell myself short. We're all our own worst critics. And there's times where I was like, man, I can't hang with these people anymore. Put me in tag matches, put me in gimmick matches. But, you know, but when it comes down to it, when the red light's on, I feel like, especially last weekend, I feel like as good as I ever had felt in a ring, physically and mentally, especially. 5 years since I won the tournament, I'm 5 years smarter in wrestling. I've crossed over 2 decades now and just really studied, strategy and timing and just how to differentiate our matches from any other one. And that's what I really liked about the HOSS tournament. The first round was against, Cheeseburger. It started off as a nice callback to like early Cabana Man Dan. It was real lighthearted, very quirky technical stuff. We just had a really hard hitting match before us. So it was a nice palate cleanser until Cheeseburger decided to punch me in the face. And then the match with Big Dave was a callback to the Castaway era, where from like late 2020 to now, where it was more of a serious fighting spirit, gritty Dan, and that's what Dave got from me. So, I went a little bit harder on him. So,
oh, sorry, go ahead, Jeremy.
Oh, well, we talked to Dave about the pile driver. So I was going to bring up the pile driver from your perspective on things and hitting it on him as big as he is.
Well, having a low center of gravity like I do, I've got really good core strength. It doesn't really look like it, but I'm fairly strong for someone that's 5'3", and Dave's weight spread evenly, so it was easier to kind of pick that up and kind of balance it, and all I had to do is sit down, drop him on his head. But the symbolism of the pile driver to me that's not a move I do ever. It's been several years since I've executed it, and the last time I used it was when I first come back from neck injury and someone used it on me. So it has to be pretty serious. And as the match progresses, I never kicked out at 2. Everything was a 1 count until the lariat, and that was the actual 3 count. But as the match progressed, the Cabana Man Dan Castaway mindset is starting to get, I don't want to say desperate, but this is the final HOSS. He's letting it all come out, doing moves that I've never done before, like backflipping out of a lariat for a pile driver, the little rolling pretzel after that, and like choking and biting. It's just, it was like devolving because I didn't want to lose because this was my final HOSS, and Dave has more HOSSes in the future. Is the mindset I was going that I thought. This is my thought process while I'm in the ring.
I thought it came across great throughout the whole weekend for the whole tournament. Like the first match, as you kind of mentioned, you know, kind of differences. Like the end of the cheeseburger match, hit him with the flip flop chop, and then hit him with the shipwrecked. And then after the match, he doesn't give you the respect. Like it's a dream match that we never seen. You know, we want to see CMD versus Cheeseburger, and I expected him to shake your hand afterwards. What was it like, first of all, getting in the ring with him? Because I know it was a dream match for the fans, and I would also imagine a dream match for yourself heading into it as well. And then what was it like that, I guess the feeling that he didn't show the respect afterwards, like I think I expected to see?
You know, I really expected it too, because Cheeseburger, you know, he's got that level of respect where he's always a lighthearted, nice guy, always works hard, you know, keeps his head down, and he's the head trainer of the Worldwide Dojo. So he's got that, you expect him to have that teacher patience and that mindset where it's kind of like, you know, just, yeah, he lost, but at the end of the day, you know, I said, hey, I forgive you for punching me. If you forgive me for hitting you with a flip flop, let's just bygones be bygones. Let's shake it off. And, you know, he shrugged me off, you know, shoulder checked me on my hurt shoulder and left. And then, you know, he got dealt with a little bit the next day with Nasty Leroy. But he was victorious on the next day. But it meant a lot to me because even though he's like a 2-time finalist, and we were in the same finals together, we have never touched because I was taken out early in that match by Baron Black with 2 power bombs and a power bomb through the table. So by the time I got back up, Cheeseburger was already eliminated. So we've never touched, and that's kind of like a cool a matchup because, you know, we both have like some the roots in like the quirky lucha libre technical style, and, you know, even just being in the ring with him, I was learning on the fly with what he was doing. So that was cool.
And then on the kind of on the flip side, like your next round match that you had against Big Dave that we have talked about a little bit already, the finish of that one, like you're going for the shipwreck. He like reverses it, goes for like an Oklahoma slam, a couple, like you all have like a series of reversals. Eventually he kind of like flips you backwards out of your finish and hits you with that Spirit of 99. But on the flip side, he shows you the respect after the match. Like he, you know, y'all shake hands, you endorse him. You know, I know you're a mentor to Big Dave. I guess if you can speak just a little bit more to like the match itself, and then also like seeing him go on to actually win the tournament.
Oh, that's just like, you know, his story is just beginning in the whole world of professional wrestling. My story's on the final chapters, but his is just in the opening chapters. And it's cool how they're like passing like trains in the night. And with the way that all went, you know, I was going to give him everything I had, and if he survives me, he better win the whole damn thing. So, you know, that's what I told him. If you beat me, you better win it all, because I'm just not going to lose for no reason. So,
yeah. And then I have one more follow up on the tournament or that night itself. So Big Dave wins the tournament, and then so this was so wild to the way this played out live. So I'm watching the SCI Rumble on IWTV the same night that this show is happening in real time. And I see Dylan Hales and Tim Bosby on SCI. And then I get, I'll out him. My mole from New South, Carmen, shoots me some results of kind of what's going on. And I'm sitting here going, wait, how was Dylan Hales at HOSS? He was at SCI. And then I see how this all plays out. I watched last night on IWTV, and I just want your thoughts on like Dylan and Tim like invading New South, and also kind of the possibilities there of like as a fan, it's cool to see the crossover of like New South SCI, because that of course bleeds into like TWE and Action. Tim Bosby's Action champion. As an IWTV fan, especially the Southeast, it's very intriguing as a fan to see this play out. But what are your thoughts on kind of seeing Dylan in both places and like kind of this happening?
Well, all I know is if Dylan and Tim Bosby are showing up in New South, if they're confronting Big Dave and they're causing problems, that means that New South, we're doing the right things. You know, we're doing enough shaking of the cage to where we're drawing in people trying to take us down. And I don't even know if that's their motive. I don't know if they're trying to take a New South down or if they're just trying to stick it to Big Dave. I mean, there's always, you know, I know it's shocking to hear this, but I think there is a level of pettiness in independent wrestling. I don't know if you've ever heard of pettiness in wrestling, but there's always like this competitive, like jeering back and forth. I mean, it's there's some in Alabama, of course, but when it comes to like the IWTV branded community, you know, Action and New South are always it's trying to keep up. It's trying to keep up with the Robertsons, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. It's like, well, they do something. Well, what can we do? Or we do something. Well, maybe what can we do with that they're doing? So I think we're doing the right things. I think steel sharpens steel, and you know, this is just the first shot. So, you know, I hope people have eyes on the back of their head at their upcoming events. That's all I can say. I just know it. It shocked us just as much as the people in the crowd. Like there were people that came to New South that were normally from the Action and SCI and TWE contingent, but it's HOSS weekend, so they came down. So the people that already knew Dylan Hells when he was coming out stood up or like, what is happening? But that slimy star maker, Dylan Hells, just knows exactly what to say to get the people of Gadsden, Alabama riled up, because we have several towns that we run in with New South, and the one that's the most old school wrestling town is Gadsden, Alabama. And he knew exactly what to say. You run the city down, you run New South down, you run Big Dave down. I'm surprised they didn't get stabbed. You know, it's that kind of old school crowd at Gadsden. So, they dropped Lee on his head. They tried to pick him up. I was the first one busting through the scene because, locker room leader, I was like, let's go. And I chased Tim Bosby and Dylan Hells literally to their car, and they sped away. Like I missed Big Dave getting picked up on Alec Price's shoulder because I was chasing these scoundrels out of the parking lot, like shouting, like nobody knew what was happening. There was like fans standing outside that was like, what is happening? So it was very chaotic, and Autumn, our camera woman, really captured how chaotic it truly was. And it was wild.
All right, so you got to go to war here with Action. Who are the four New South people on your side?
I mean, we could have 10 New South people on my side. Everybody wanted a piece, but I mean, definitely number one with the bullet's got to be Big Dave. That's who they're targeting. This is his shot. I mean, I was the second through the curtain, so Big Dave means a lot to me as a human being. So you come and try to take his thunder, that offends me. And as being half of the New South Tag Team Champions, you can't have New South without Dump Sanders. So that's your three, and whoever our fourth one is, it could be negatively if he puts in for some PTO. I know he's not active right now. It could be. I would love to have someone like Mad Dog Conley in our corner. So that'd be a nice guard dog for sure. But could be like a Donnie Primetime, could be Chris Crunk. I mean, volunteers are not scarce right now to get a little bit of sweet revenge, baby.
You got to have people on your side that you can also trust, though. I mean, wrestlers, you mentioned pettiness. There's also shadiness with a lot of wrestlers. A lot of backstabbing.
No way.
Going
Are you
on.
kidding me?
A lot of backstabbing going on in the world of wrestling. So you got to have people on your side that you can trust, too.
Well, I never.
You might be able to get I don't know her name. There's that woman who she's very loud at your shows. I love it. She's very into the show.
Cindy.
Cindy. Okay. Well, hey, shout out to Cindy. I She was ready to fight.
Oh yeah, she was the third commentator of HOSS, because you
Yeah.
could hear her, and she's embarrassed about it now. But I was like, no, we love it. It gives us
Yes.
so much energy. If there's nobody cheering in the crowd, you better be damn sure Cindy's cheering for you or booing you. She hates Richard Holiday, by the way.
Easy got 8. I mean,
Yeah.
geez. I wanted to ask, this is kind of random, but just because we had talked about Dylan Hales a little bit, it just reminds me of, you know, the first time I got to see you wrestle live was in Nashville years ago in Southern Underground Pro in the Basement East. We've talked about the bell shot and stuff before on the show, the infamous and what, but like, what were maybe like, what's your favorite moment from Sup Graps? Like, I don't know if it'll ever come back, but like, I have a very fond memories of that promotion. What was maybe your favorite moment in the history of Sup?
Oh gosh, I mean, it has not the bell shot, but I mean, I don't know if that's like a moment, but that whole match is just still legendary, and it still gets talked about. At least the bell shot. But I'm if I'm trying to like pick something else out of that, like I really don't know. I mean, it's just I think when I got my first singles win was also a really big deal, and I think it was against Zach Thomas. You know, I had been doing. No, you know what? I'll tell you what. We're gonna scratch that. That was a great moment. That was a great match. But I think a great moment was like they didn't do a lot of tag matches, despite you know Kevin Koo and Dom Guarini being a big part of it. They never really tagged much in the beginning. But I think the first like tag match at the Basement East was in fact They Might Be Giants with Marco Stunt and myself versus Dan the Dad as Danny Adams and
Was it KLD?
Mike. No, it was Mike Outlaw.
Oh, okay, Mike Outlaw, the other
Yeah.
other no new friend. Yeah.
Yeah, No New Friends. That was the first tag match, and it's like this crowd's never seen a hot tag before. Holy shit! You know, I just remember Marco getting beat up, and when he finally made that tag, it's like the roof blew off, and I had everybody on my side for that that comeback. It was that was a special moment that I remembered for. That was like the number one moment until the tag match, because that was just insane. It's like the first time a hot tag's ever happened in the history of wrestling, and that happened right then. It was amazing.
Yes, I was in the crowd. It was awesome. I love those shows. You were also, if I remember correctly, you were part of the Sup. It was like was it the Collective? The one year where it was like
family reunion.
That was it. That was awesome. That was awesome.
That was another. That's like a good feather in the cap, because since I had gotten back into wrestling, this WrestleMania week didn't exist, in the previous 10 years, and that's what everybody was, fighting and clawing for, and that the first collective with the IWTV and the family reunion, with that being the first, I mean that was like probably the height, like a good height or a good peak at that time for IWTV, and there was a lot of eyes on that, and it was a big deal, and everybody worked hard, and it was nice to get that spot with O'Shea Edwards and Mr. Brickster, who's identifying demons right now.
Dude, okay.
Oh no, you're gonna get something written about me if I say something.
I know. I was biting my tongue the whole time. So I don't know how deep I want to go on this. I noticed on a tweet, like it had to have been like within the last day or so, I saw you tweet. It might have been underneath a Dylan Hales thing. I can't remember what it was. I saw it looked like the purple demon identified, and I put that together, and I was like, if this is what I think it is, that's really, really funny. I don't know if you want. I got it. I don't know if you want to go into this at all. Probably
no.
not,
I don't. Not really. Yeah. I mean, I don't. I don't know what's happening. I just hope
nobody
he's
does.
Having fun, and I hope he's doing okay. That's all.
So do I.
I mean,
dude.
If I was topping as much as that, I'd probably be okay too. So I don't have time.
Yeah, no, it's okay. You kind of brought it up, so I just
well, Boston Nuga will be the podcast breaker on that one day, I hope.
Okay, fair enough. Shout out to the homie Ben, Boston Nuga,
who is terrible at karaoke, by the way.
Oh, really?
Really?
He sounds like Dan the Rev. I don't know. He was doing great. He sounded like the Rev. It was terrible.
Do you have a karaoke song, Dan?
I have many karaoke songs. But But the very first one I ever did, I think, was Cutting Crew. I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight. That was a good one. Amish Paradise was a fun one.
Oh, okay.
There
you go.
I serenaded to Dump Sanders' Flirting with Disaster. Did some Molly Hatchet for him. So I mean, I'm Asian. I like karaoke. I dabble.
What are
It's part of the Filipino culture.
You mentioned, Dump Sanders, your tag team partner, y'all being y'all the champions. He's obviously, one of the main guys, running New South. What are your, I guess, if you can give some more thoughts to the world on Dump Sanders?
Oh man, it's not cool to put him over, but he does a wonderful job. For some reason, I feel like people give me more credit sometimes than I deserve for like Alabama indie wrestling, but I wouldn't even be back in indie wrestling if it wasn't New South, and if it wasn't for Dump Sanders, and if it wasn't for Brandon Williams. If you get to know him, he's a really wonderful guy, really caring. It's just, he's not good at communication. And sometimes that, we're busy. We travel a lot and we got tons of shows all the time. He doesn't get back to everybody. It's part of wrestling. People that get upset are just, they're joining it's cool to dump on people. No pun intended. So, no, he's wonderful. He stepped back from general manager duties because he wants to be a competitor with me. And, I want to spend as much time tagging with my best friend in wrestling. So, we've taken some outside dates coming up from New South. So that's fun because we've never wrestled as a team outside of New South. And we got some action Mike Jackson school shows as a team coming up. So those will be a lot of fun and not as stressful as having to wrestle at New South and then run a show. So this is going to be like a vacation night.
Well, speaking of running shows in New South, I don't know if Jeremy was about to ask this. I can wait. You're probably on the same wavelength as me with this next question. Yeah. Okay. So cakewalks, Dan. This has become a thing on our show recently. It has completely unzipped like a piece of my brain that I haven't tapped into for a very long time. As a matter of fact, I went on YouTube the other day and like just watched people do cakewalks, like people would film cakewalks. Yeah, straight up. I don't want to I'm not the kind of guy who, leaks DMs or anything like that. But I mean, Dave was really high on the idea of a cakewalk. It sounds like the wheels may be in motion potentially for a cakewalk situation in New South. I don't know if you can confirm or deny this, but your thoughts on cakewalks in general and if they should be a part of wrestling.
I mean, here's what I thought about cakewalks, and I've actually never participated in cakewalks despite going to a southern rural school. We did more of the ring toss for the 2 liters. That's more of our jam. Yeah. So, I remember winning a 2 liter of squirt back in elementary school, but my daughter's done cakewalks, so I get it.
Nice.
I would like to do a cakewalk before a show because during a show there's just too much going on. I don't want to do it during intermission because we're taking away from wrestlers trying to hawk their merchandise and make well-deserved bonus money. But we are talking about doing one for charity before a show. We just got to find a show where we're just not too busy to do one, and then have one of our up-and-coming good guys deal with that, and incorporate that as far as getting their face out to the crowd for a good cause. We would like to raise money for a local food bank or something like that with a cakewalk. I think it'd be fun.
I think it's great.
Whenever this happens, kind of shoot us a message and we'll see how we can help out with this. I don't know if we need to call like a local bakery and be like, hey, what can we supply to the show to get this done? But I feel like we should be involved in some way in this. So I would like to, however we can help, let us know. And we'll
that'd be awesome. The best thing about wrestling is when it gets community. When you get community based, is the best. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was saying if Jensen is close to the show, this would be even more helpful if he could, bring the cake to the show, or if he's there at the show live,
he
something
can
like
walk
that.
his ass down. So
exactly.
I don't know how close Gadsden, Alabama is. By the way, I wasn't the reason that it said Gadsden, Georgia on the initial report. I was going to throw that out there. That wasn't me, but Gadsden, Alabama. I don't know how close is that to like Chattanooga. Like, how did Dylan get there so quick?
Okay, so Chattanooga to Gadsden's about an hour and 20 minutes, and you cross the time zone back to Central.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
So
Okay.
he was Rick Rude that night.
Yeah.
So
Okay. How far is Gadsden from Atlanta?
220.
It's actually not too bad.
No, it's really not.
I mean, I love nothing more than to be involved in some sort of cakewalk, like that we kind of help manifest. But if I can't be there in person, we would love to help in some way, shape, or form. Get the word out there,
Okay.
help with the cake itself. I just think it's
I think
hilarious.
Gadsden would be a good venue for that too. I think Gadsden would be good, and that'd be the venue I'd like you to see because it's actually a really cool setup. There's another company that owns the building. It's in the mall, and it's called Spartan Wrestling. They have a training school. They're a nonprofit organization. They run a free show once a month, and then we make donations to their nonprofit, and we run our shows there too. So it's a really cool setup in an old movie theater, and they have a training ring in the back. They have a whole upstairs production area. It's a really cool place.
Same place that the show was in, over that the HOSS was taking place at.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. That looks great. It looks like from like how it's shown on IWTV. The building looks great. A lot of fans in there. Good sound and everything. Yeah, awesome. I would love to see if we can get involved in something like this. This would be awesome.
Yeah. Let us know when this is going to happen, and we'll figure something out. We'll get it together.
Yeah, I've got some local bakeries here that I definitely know of, so we could do a little something.
Yeah. It's got. I mean, we were talking about it last week with Big Dave a little bit, like at TWE at the TW Arena, they got banana pudding. So it's like I mean, there's absolutely a market for cakes and wrestling. I mean, what would be better than showing up to a local indie wrestling show and you're hanging out before the show and you're like, wait a second, there's a cakewalk going on. Like you put an entire cake in your car before the show starts. Are you from Gadsden? Like, were you? Like,
well, originally I'm from the Philippines, you see, and then when I immigrated to this country at a very young age, but this is my continental hometown.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm actually sitting in the driveway of my childhood home in the town over. So,
what can you tell people about Gadsden that don't know about Gadsden?
It's the City of Champions. That's the actual title of the city. It's right on the Coosa River. It's got a really cool downtown area. The venue in Gadsden is awesome. It's right by a really nice hotel that sponsors some rooms, Gadsden and Suites. There's a lot of golf courses. It's primarily been a retirement community ever since the steel plant closed down in the early 90s, and then the Goodyear plant shut down a few years ago. So we're trying to rebound the city, and we have a new mayor. I'm way too involved with local politics, but we've got a new mayor, and we're really trying to bounce back. And there's some stuff on the table for the city to help New South run something bigger than we're doing at Spartan Arena. So there's bigger venues in town, and we want to do something bigger with them. So I love Gadsden a lot. So it's where I've lived my whole life, despite 1 year in Birmingham, and that was the shits. So yeah.
Anything else, Jensen?
Sorry, go ahead, Dan.
I'm a big Gadsden mark. I mean, shoot, who wouldn't want to wrestle 10 minutes from home in front of a packed crowd on a good show? So,
hell yeah, the people love you. I love watching it. I've been a fan for, I can't believe how long ago. I mean, I know you've been around for a long time, but I consider myself like a real Cabana Man Dan fan ever since like the Sub Grabs days when I really started, because obviously like IWTV and the accessibility and being able to follow along so much easier in recent years has been so great as a fan of indie wrestling. And it's been great seeing you evolve. Like I remember you coming out with the coconut and like the shades and the different gear, and we talked about we might be giant, or they might be giants. We might be giants. They might be giants. They might be giants. But to see what you keep doing, and the people you're influencing, and this new generation that's come along, and everyone has such good things to say about you. It's been really, really cool to see, man. So, you know, I'm glad to hear that this wasn't like a retirement thing, like you not doing HOSS anymore. I was a little confused about that. So I'm glad to know that, you know, you're still.
No, yeah, no, it's not the end of the line yet. I don't know. I don't see it going too many years longer, or even, you know, another year. It just depends how I wake up, and you know, I'll keep working hard if my body lets me. I know my life is different now than it was when I was wrestling all over the indies and having a really good time. But you know, I'm part of leadership and ownership of New South as well now. We've really boosted up some of our backstage stuff within the last year, and you can tell a huge difference in the product that we're putting out right now. We got sponsors involved, we got bigger crowds, we got production stepping up. I mean, there's a lot of, you know, it's like, why do I want to be gone all the time if I can just make something fantastic with my best friends here and make it a destination for other people to want to come to? Because, you know, I think my window on, I don't want to get signed. I've got a job with the government. You know, I don't want to give that up. You know, I've got a pension waiting for me. I've just got to do my time. I'm back in college. I just want to, you know, and my daughter's, she's 13 now. So that's definitely a bigger priority than wrestling. And, you know, just trying to balance it all. I can't do that if I'm like sleeping on the floor of somebody's house in the Midwest and just living in cars and stuff. It's just, you know, I did my time on that. That's good. I mean, I would do it again if it was for the right reasons, if it was for the right match or the right opportunity. Sure. You know, I try to go to AEW anytime that they're close by to where I can potentially be backstage. And if they have something open, you know, step in that spot, that'd be great. WWE is not really on the table as far as that goes, because, you know, I don't really have the best body anymore as far as like the bones and ligaments and stuff, but they're really cool about reaching out to me too. So it's nice to still be in that atmosphere, but I really get more out of producing a really good show, watching my friends do well, and helping guys like Big Dave, Tyler Franks, Hunter Drake, and then the next batch of people like your Marcus Dillon, Bubba Baz, Jake Franklin, you know, just all these young guys. I want to give them what I didn't have. You know, I did my training in the back of an antique store for $20 a week until the Outlaw show shut down. You know, I didn't have a mentor. We didn't have somebody you could just text and call, or how to get in a carload, or how to do anything. So I just want to do the opposite of my upbringing for the people that actually want to do this. Because Alabama's hard. It's a hard state to break out of.
Well, I think what you're doing is awesome, man. I'm a fan. I'll always be a fan. So I appreciate you coming on the show, man. We really do. It's great catching up.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we get some details about the cakewalk, you know, if we get a good local charity, we find some local bakeries that'll help us out. It doesn't have to be huge, because I mean, it's like the Spartan Arena only seats like 250, so it's not like our bigger venues like in Priceville where you can fit 1,000 people in there. So that's just a really cool thing, is being part of a show that feels like a territory is really cool.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing the territory crossovers, like I said earlier, with like these different company. I think there's a lot. There's a lot that we didn't get because of the pandemic, like that we missed out on, that I think was going to happen. They were setting a lot of stuff up then, I think, and I think there's an opportunity now to really do something special for the fans. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, the possibilities coming up they're insane. Like I don't know. I don't even know where it can go. It can go 1,000 different ways, but the fact that it's going somewhere means that, I mean, the ones that win are the wrestling fans.
Yes.
So this is something that people have been asking, when's it going to happen, for years. And now that someone shot a shot, you know, that's all it took.
Awesome. Where can people find you? Also, I want to make sure you plug everything. We'll, you know, try to get the plugs out there.
Well, I'm not a hard Dan to find, Steven. You can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Cabana Man Dan. You can find me on Instagram at cabana.man.dan. You can find me on Facebook, Cabana Man Dan. I mean, you know, I'm a one of one until Rolando Perez tried to steal my gimmick back in the infancy of like New South. Like we weren't even on the internet or anything really yet. But that's like the greatest story that's never been seen because it was before IWTV.
Gotcha. Rolando Freeman, for those of you who may not know, as well.
Oh yeah, Rolando Freeman, the big brother to Rush Freeman.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
So if you know Rolando, he's a really good kid. He's another one of my children in wrestling. He's my first wrestling son, despite him trying to be a dick and steal my identity, because identity thief is no joke, Jim. And but you know, he's recently had to have shoulder surgery, and it was worse than they expected. So check it out. If you know Rolando, buy a shirt from him, donate to his GoFundMe. You know, any bit helps. He does have marketplace insurance, but it doesn't cover a whole lot. So he still owes several $1,000s out of pocket for that. So any bit helps my good wrestling son Rolando.
Awesome.
Dan, we appreciate you joining us. You know, good luck with everything, and yeah, let us know about the cakewalk, and we'll be in touch with that and to help out however we can. Yeah, and I have one more bit of advice. I know a lot of people ask me about advice in wrestling. It's like, always have wrestling's great. It is a finite career. Have something to fall back on. When I was in high school, that was the thing that my parents told me a lot. So I went to the community college and I got a 2-year degree in civil engineering, and I never knew that I'd ever use it. And then now I've got an engineering job with the opportunity to go back to college to get a bachelor's degree in civil engineering. And I think that message resonates with a lot of people, that even at 40 with a 20-year wrestling career and all the concussions and the bell shots, I could still go back to school and hopefully continue my career, outside of wrestling while still involved in wrestling. So, go do the drives, hop in the cars, but, have something to fall back on. A trades are very important. Actually, I know I'm sounding like Cabana Man Dad now, so I'm so sorry.
No, these are good messages. I'm glad that you were able to get that out there. I'm sure it'll help someone.
Yeah, and if you're a young wrestler, especially in the Southeast, it doesn't have to be the Southeast. If you just have a question, if you want any advice, my DMs are open. I get all sorts of people asking me silly things or really important stuff. So, I've made a good career as far as like traveling on the thrift. I'm like a very really big Bob Evans guy, so he helped me a lot too getting back into wrestling. So there's a lot of things I can, I'd love to help people.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Dan, and best of luck going forward. We'll be in touch. So.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, guys. See ya.
Man.
Bye.